is that?
Okay, let me shock you. When you talk about who owns Lagos, you know, the Aboriginal people, obviously they own Lagos. So that would be the Aworis and then other people who were there before, correct? Now,
Yes.
after the British conquered, or rather, they took Lagos from the Benin, from the Oba of Lagos, the royal family of Lagos. When they took them, obviously by right of, will I say conquest, or by right of treaty, Lagos belonged to them. Correct? Good. Now, yes. If you look at it now, when the British, they actually they declared slave trade illegal in 1807. The Emancipation Act in 1807. And then beginning from 1797, they began to have a problem in London, this modern day London, of a lot of black freed slaves in the streets of London, homeless in the streets of London, constituting nuisance. Some of them started to steal. The women were engaged in prostitution. It was a major problem, not just in Lagos, or not just in London, also in Paris. So what they began to do is that they began to ship them to a new place that they called Freetown. Freetown. So they took a lot of them there to Freetown. Now, what a lot of Nigerians don't know is that the French also had that same problem in Paris. So the French took their own slaves, free slaves, to a place called Libreville in modern day Gabon. It will surprise you to know that Libreville actually means Freetown. Libreville actually means Freetown in French. But here's the challenge that you have to understand. 100%. The slaves that the British had, majority of the slaves that the British had were actually Yoruba, with a splattering of Igbos. The slaves that the Portuguese had, the Portuguese they preferred Yoruba slaves. So the Portuguese had Yoruba slaves and Angola. They took their slaves from either Yoruba or Angola. But then the French actually preferred to take Igbo slaves. So a lot of the French slaves were taken to a place called Hispaniola. Now, Hispaniola, they later changed the name of the place under Napoleon Bonaparte. They changed the name of that island from Hispaniola to San Dominique. Now, around 1727 thereabouts, the slaves there, they became too troublesome. Reminds me of some kinds of people, right? They became too troublesome. They resisted slavery, and then it was very hard for the French to put them down. Eventually, there was a rebellion. And then they overthrew the slave masters, and they got their independence. And then they changed the name of that island from Saint Domingue to Haiti. Haiti, the slaves in Haiti, they had Igbo origin. That's why during the Nigerian Civil War, they supported Biafra. Now, the French had a problem, right? They had a major problem. What are they going to do with their own slaves that were freed, that are now in Paris? Because they couldn't take them anymore to Saint Dominique, which was now Haiti, because they've lost control of the place. So they took them to Libreville. Now, a lot of the slaves in Freetown and some of the slaves in Libreville made their way to Lagos. And then they became British, British citizens under the British protectorate in Lagos. And then some of them, they just took up names like, Johnson, Vaughan. Please, I'm not saying this for political reasons. Don't start attacking me. This is history. History is not always pleasant. Some of them became survival. Some of them became roads.
I heard
survival. It just means survival. Now, not all of those people are actually freed Yoruba slaves. A lot of them were actually freed Igbo slaves. But when they came to Lagos, all of them, both the Yoruba slaves and the Igbo slaves, they became Yorubanized. So, you know, you see them with their names, you know, Mobolaji, this, you know, Benson, and all of that. Not all of them, not all of them. So among these Lagosians that came back, some of them are actually of Igbo origin. I know it's going to piss off a lot of the Yorubas who are going to say, oh, no, no, no. Actually, there are original Lagosians. When I say original, I mean like people who have been Lagosians for over about 230 years, who are actually of Igbo origin.
All right. Like you said, this can cause a sick war, so let's leave it.